Welcome to Not Your Average Blonde, the mindset and wellness podcast where we break limits, rewrite stories, and create extraordinary lives. I'm your host, Melissa, and I'm here to help you rise higher, live braver, and dream bigger. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Not Your Average Blonde. I know it has been a couple weeks since I released my last episode. I needed to take some time to kind of pivot, recollect. I also needed to really focus on my health. I'm still recovering from my stroke earlier this year, and I just really needed to take the space and the time to kind of step back for a little bit, reprioritize my health and especially my mental well-being before diving into everything again. I'm super excited for some of the things that I have been working on for Not Your Average Blonde and keep following as I release some new things over the next month or two. Very excited for the direction this is going, and I'm excited that you're here for the journey for it. So, again, thank you so much for joining me on Not Your Average Blonde. I'm really looking forward with this next chapter to pivot more into the wellness aspect of this podcast. We talk a lot about mindset, and mindset really is the foundation, but I want to explore more into wellness and the journey that goes into living your most authentic life. And for today's topic, we're going to start with that. We're going to start with wellness. There are so many nuances and things that come to mind when that word first comes to mind. So when you hear the word wellness, what is it that comes to your mind? Is it smoothies, matcha, yoga poses on a beach, energy drinks, skinny girls in matching Pilates outfits, gym bros, super jacked, lifting a ton of weight and eating chicken and rice to prep for a competition? There's quite a there's so many stereotypes that go along with the word wellness, and especially these days with social media and how it portrays it. Now, while those can be components of it, a lot of them are often curated, but they are components of wellness. I want to dive into what true wellness is. Because true wellness, it's so much more than what you see curated on your Instagram feed or on your TikTok. It's so much more than a buzzword or an aesthetic. It's a holistic integration of your mind, your body, and your soul. It's about creating a life that feels good on the inside and not one that just looks good on the outside. Wellness, it's the way that you come home to yourself. It's a very deeply personal journey. And it's one that I'm definitely finding more about right now as I'm going through this current phase of my life. I've always been very interested in wellness since I was a teenager. It has been a topic I have genuinely been incredibly passionate about, especially since I lived in Europe and their lifestyle is so different than what it is in the US. And then living in different parts of the world between Europe and then living in the Middle East for a bit and then living even in different parts of the US. There's so many different lifestyles or so many differences in the lifestyles that people have that contribute to their wellness through their day-to-day routine and the habits that they have and the priorities that they have in life. And over time, I have developed more of my own perspective of what wellness is and what it encompasses. And with my current health issues and then being able to have the time and space the last few months, I have really been able to kind of deep dive and become a bit more aligned in defining what wellness means. That's something I want to share with you today, and that's what I'm going to be incorporating a bit more into Not Your Average Blonde. So, wellness, it's that deep alignment of your mind, your body, your soul. It's the energy that's behind your choices, the decisions that you make every single day that impact your day-to-day life, and then also your life long term. It's the boundaries you set. It's the food you eat. It's the thoughts you believe, the people you surround yourself with, and the people that you allow into your world, especially on your social media. And it all starts with your mindset and what you're willing to tolerate and allow to impact your energy. So when you dive into wellness, especially true wellness, it asks, are you living in alignment with who you really are? Are you honoring your body as much as your ambitions? Are your routines actually nourishing you, or are they just numbing you emotionally? Or are they just numbing you emotionally, mentally, physically? Wellness, it's the lifelong process of cultivating wholeness, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, energetically. It's the foundation we build everything else on, which is like our relationships, our work, our growth. Wellness, it's not a one size fits all path. Like what's going to work for me is not necessarily going to work for you. And that's the beauty of it is you can tailor it to yourself. It's an incredibly personal like journey and process that like we each undergo. And whether you're a part of it or not, the decisions and how you live your life affects your well-being, whether it's good or bad. It's incredibly layered and it's dynamic. And the beauty of it is that it evolves with you. As you evolve, your wellness journey is going to evolve as well, which is really cool. So before I dive into like the meat of this episode, I want you to take a moment and reflect on where in my life do I feel out of alignment right now, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and what would feeling truly well in that area look like for me? I want you to visualize that last part. What would feeling truly well look like for me? Imagine the life that you'll have, how you feel in your body, the routine that you're going through to cultivate those feelings. This is visualization, my friend, and it is an incredibly powerful tool. I absolutely love visualization. When you take that moment, and it doesn't take that long. You see, it only took like maybe a few seconds to go through. And as you're listening to it, for you to be able to go through and like imagine like those things and to have like those dreams and to visualize what is good for you. When you vividly picture yourself living in alignment, feeling grounded in yourself, your body, you can calm your mind, you can connect with your spirit, you begin to train your brain and your body to believe it's possible. And I'm here to tell you it is possible to feel that way, even through all of the ebbs and flows that life brings to you. It is possible to feel in alignment. Now utilize like that image to become a map of your subconscious to start moving forward, one small decision at a time. And as we go throughout this episode, I'm going to help you do that. I'm going to help you to kind of start building that framework to move forward. But first, I want to start with redefining wellness. I want to go beyond the green juice and the protein shakes, the gym memberships, or whatever trend that you're seeing on Instagram or TikTok. Wellness, it's the state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, not merely the absence of disease, according to the World Health Organization. But I personally believe it goes even deeper than this, especially when we're talking about holistic wellness. Wellness, it's about alignment. Wellness, it's the active pursuit of alignment in your mind, your body, and your soul. It's the daily practice of tuning into your needs, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and making choices that honor those needs. We've been conditioned to see wellness as something we achieve. It's when you achieve that goal weight, perfect diet, those abs, a flawless morning routine. But it goes so much deeper than that. A lot of those things, they're just superficial. What it is, it's about how you feel when you wake up, how you move through your day, how you connect who you are to your values, your emotions, and your energy. Wellness, it's not about perfection, unlike what we're led to believe through social media and what we see that's curated. It's not about perfection at all because guess what? We're all human. We're going to stumble, we're going to make mistakes, but it's about wholeness. It's not about looking good for others. It's about feeling good in you, feeling good in your own life. And I want to define that a bit more right now. Like wellness is, mental clarity instead of mental chaos, emotional balance instead of overwhelm, physical energy instead of burnout, spiritual connection instead of feeling lost or numb, feeling safe in your own body, your mind, and space. Like, how many people do you know? And you maybe one yourself that's you are not comfortable being alone with your own thoughts. You fill up that time with podcasts, books, calling friends, doom scrolling, staying busy. But when was the last time that you actually took that time to just be in the moment, be in the present, and just being safe in that moment in your mind and where you are? That is a part of wellness. It's the intentional layering of those small daily choices that support who you are becoming. I want to caveat again that wellness is going to look different for you than for someone else. That's the point. It's personal, it's intuitive, and your body knows what's up. Your body knows what it needs. You just have to take that space to be able to listen to it. And it's going to evolve as you do. So I want you to ask yourself again, what would true wellness look and feel like in your life? Now, wellness, it's multidimensional. It's not just about your physical or mental state. It's about all the parts. It's about how all the parts of your life are connected and supported. There are about 8 core dimensions of wellness. And when one is out of alignment, which is easy to do, you can feel the ripple effect in other areas of your life, both positive and negative. And I'm going to go into those dimensions in this episode. I'm not going to deep dive into them because we can get really into the weeds with this. And in future episodes, I probably will. And I'm going to be more specialized and focused on these different areas of wellness. But I want to just introduce them to you today. So the first one is, and we've already touched on it, is physical wellness. This is how you care for your body. It's nourishing your body with movement, with rest, nutrition, sleep, hydration, and tuning into what your body actually needs, not what someone on social media is telling you what to do. The next is mental wellness. This is your mindset, your thoughts, your personal development. It's your curiosity, your growth, your ability to challenge old patterns and embrace new perspectives. It's cultivating a healthy mindset and managing stress. So much easier said than done, but it is so important to do this. And this is one that I see a lot of people get stagnant in. It's very easy to do, especially as you enter into adulthood and you get into the doldrum of like the day in and day out, Groundhog Day. Mental wellness is one that it is very easy to get stagnant in, but I'm going to give you some tools of like how to work through these. The next one is emotional wellness. This is your ability to feel, to express, and process your emotions in healthy ways. This includes understanding and expressing your feelings effectively, managing stress, regulating your nervous system, and creating space for your emotional truth. Now, this one's hard, easier said than done. And for some people, it may be easier. For others, it's a lot more difficult because emotions can be uncomfortable to sit with. They really can be. But we're going to get more into that later as well, too. Next is spiritual wellness. This is your connection to something greater than yourself, whether it's faith, faith through religion, you name it, whatever it is, purpose, intuition, or simply nature. It can even be a combination of those. For me, it's a combination of those. For me, it's faith in like a higher power. I'm not tied to a singular denomination anymore, but it's, faith in a higher power. It's finding purpose and building purpose in my life. It's listening to my intuition and then also taking that time to ground in nature for me. For spiritual wellness, it's about connecting with your inner self and finding that purpose. This is where you find meaning, alignment, and inner peace to live. Next is social wellness. These are the relationships that support and uplift you. These include boundaries, the communities that you're in, communication, and choosing who you allow into your energy field. Building supportive and meaningful relationships can have incredibly profound effects on your entire life, both positive and negative. Next is financial wellness. This is your relationship with money. It's exactly as it sounds, but it's a bit broader than that. It's not just, the dollar amount that you have sitting in your bank account or how much debt that you have. This goes deeper. It goes into your mindset that you have about money. It goes into your resources and your sense of safety and abundance. This isn't just about how much you earn, but how supported and secure that you feel. Managing resources can reduce stress and enhance security in how you feel. And this one is also very closely tied to your mental wellness. How many times have you, or think back to like a moment in your life when like you couldn't sleep because you were worried about like finances? I think at some point or another, we have all been there. It's just a natural part of the world that we live in today. But it is very closely tied to your mental wellness. And it is so much deeper than the number that you're seeing in your bank account. And this is a topic I'm very excited to dive more into. Like in the future, I'm going to do some designated episodes on this topic about like financial wellness and building on that, both from your mindset perspective, but then also how to cultivate more like financial abundance in your life. The next one is environmental wellness. This is your physical space and surroundings. This includes the energy of your home, your workspace, the nature around you, and how those environments support or drain you. For me, this is one that's a lot more intuitive, but I'm also very empathic. So I'm very sensitive to the environment that I'm in and the environment, such as like my work environment, especially my home environment. My home environment is a place where like it needs to be a refuge from the world. It needs to be a place where I can rest. It's a place where I can heal and I can recharge, but also it's a space that I can welcome others into and hope that same energy is good and can cultivate good relations with those people. It can be just as healing and protective for them as well too. And so I work really hard to maintain a good environmental like wellness both at home as well as at work too. Like adding a plant to my desk and changing my lighting does wonders. It's crazy. And keeping it clean and organized does so much goodness for my mental space. And lastly, while we're talking about work, is occupational wellness. This is your work and your sense of purpose. If you've noticed, I've mentioned purpose, sense of purpose throughout a couple of these. There's a trend that's there, but occupational wellness is one that can feed into it. Now, you have to be careful not to allow your occupation to completely define your sense of purpose. And this is a very easy trap to run into, I've noticed, especially here in the US. We allow our line of work to define who we are and the sense of purpose that we have. And this is very, very, very dangerous to get into because when that's gone, whether you retire or you lose your job or something happens, like this is something I've been having to wrestle with for the last couple months is I didn't realize how much I allowed my sense of purpose to be wrapped up in the work that I do, which has also impacted my identity. And it's something I was aware of. I've seen it happen to so many people, especially as they get ready to retire or they retire and they kind of go through almost an identity crisis and they lose that sense of purpose. I've seen quite a few people who have rebounded back from that, who have redefined and have had to dig deeper into the sense of purpose that they have. And I've also seen on the other end of the spectrum those who they lose that sense of purpose because they left it like in their work and they lost their job or they got out and they moved on and it didn't work out and they lost their sense of purpose and it's led them down a very dark and dangerous path. And this is one that's we could talk a bit more. We will talk actually like a little bit more on like sense of purpose, but it is a common thread that I just wanted to like note on here that's throughout several aspects of this topic of wellness. But going back to occupational wellness, it's the questions of are you fulfilled? Do you feel aligned in your career or creative path? Do you feel you're making a contribution that resonates with your values? This is a big one. This is such a big one. And this is one that I have struggled with for the last about year or so about actually almost 2 years now, is having that question and checking in with myself of, is what I'm doing align with how I want to grow and how I want to cultivate and develop as a person? And does it align with my personal values? And that's a fair question to ask. I think it's a question that everyone should ask themselves because your occupation is so much more than just getting a paycheck. You spend so much of your life working and so many years of your life working. Pick something, do something that is going to resonate with your values and those things that you believe in, whatever your values are. So, each of these areas, they interconnect. They overall influence your well-being. Wellness is the alignment of all these areas, not the perfection of them. Don't get caught up in the perfection of them, but it's the alignment of them. You don't have to master all 8 of these, but when you begin to notice when one feels imbalanced, that's where your healing begins. So, which of these wellness dimensions feel strongest for you right now? Which one is asking for a little more love and attention? You can add that to your journal, think about it on your drive, pause this and think about it, and then come back. This next topic we're going to go into is busting a few wellness myths. There are so many myths that are around wellness, and I already covered some of them when I first started this episode, but we live in a day and age where we are bombarded with what wellness is, other people defining it for us. We've been sold on this perfectly curated Instagram or TikTok filtered version of what wellness should look like. And if you're anything like me, you've probably tried to chase it at some point, thinking that if you just did one more of the right things, you'd finally feel whole. You'd have like perfection in your life. But here's the truth. Let's get real for a moment. Most of what we're taught about wellness is either incomplete, outdated, or downright toxic. And it might not be what we need for this time and period that we're of where we are in our life right now. Now, some of these common wellness myths are wellness is expensive. This is probably like one of my favorite ones to hear and to like debunk, especially when it comes to your physical health and we're talking about like exercise and like nutrition. Wellness is expensive. It's not. Wellness doesn't require pricey products or retreats. Simple practices like taking a moment to do deep breathing. There's YouTube. There's so many exercises that you can do on YouTube for workouts or for breathing or meditation, journaling. You can Google, and there's so many journaling prompts. If you listen to this podcast, I give you several questions throughout each episode that you can reflect on, you can meditate on, you can journal on. You can also do free things like go walk out in nature. I know some of us live in like really hot climates where it's uncomfortable, but maybe get up a little bit earlier and go for a walk, or go downtown and go for a walk through a museum or a garden or something, change it up a little bit, but get grounded. There's so many things that are out there that are accessible and effective for that. The next myth is wellness is time consuming. No one is meditating at 5 a.m. Okay, maybe there are some people, but like, let's be real here. Most of us, like, that's not happening. I'm not dragging my ass up at 5 in the morning to try to meditate or journal for 30 minutes or hitting the gym, doing breath work, for however long, eating macro balanced meals and taking cold plunges every single day. Now, do I incorporate some of those things in my life? Sometimes does it happen to be at 5 a.m.? Yeah, sometimes. But the thing is, like, having that perfect routine every single day and a very strict and long routine, that's not wellness. That's performance. Wellness, it's seasonal. You go through times and seasons in your life and ebbs and flows. And that's where you have to tailor it. It's flexible. Some days wellness is an early workout. Other days it's lying on the floor in silence with your phone on do not disturb. Both count. The truth is, even 5 minutes of mindfulness or stretching or going for a walk can make a significant difference. But just do those little things every day or several days a week, 5 minutes every day, or 45-minute workout, 5 days a week or 3 days a week. Tailor it to you, make it work for you. And it doesn't have to be time consuming because those little things, it stacks up. Little by little, it all adds up. The next myth is wellness means looking a certain way. This is another one that I hear a lot about, especially like in the Pilates space. So I absolutely love doing Pilates. I'm working on getting my certification. I enjoy teaching it. I love doing the classes. It's an atmosphere that I really enjoy, both the people that I get to meet, but I also love the way that it connects my mind with my body and the movement. I can use a combination of breath work. I can habit stack with it. It's phenomenal. But when I try to advocate for it to people, I get the response of like, "Oh, like, well, I don't look like the typical like Pilates person." And I kind of look like that a bit, like I'm blonde, tan, I'm, like in shape, but like that's not the stereotype. I'm here to tell you like that's not the stereotype of the people that go. Like I love my Pilates like studio because you have women in there of all different ages. Like there is a lady in there who has had a hip replacement, a full-on hip replacement. And this lady is on the reformer just kicking ass, just absolutely rocking it. There are ladies in there that are like bigger that are wearing like leggings and like a rock band t-shirt. That's what works for them and that's okay. The cool thing is like the fact that like they are there. You don't have to look a certain way to take part in wellness. So I want you to stop that. Stop right there. Wellness is not the size of your jeans. It's not what you're wearing. It's not your abs. It's not how clean your diet is. What real wellness is, it's about how you feel in your body and in your mind and in your soul. A person can look aesthetically fit, and be absolutely unwell. I can't tell you how many people I've seen who, like, are in the wellness space or they fit, like that classic, like, Pilates mom look, but they are struggling with a drug addiction or they're an alcoholic or they struggle with an eating disorder and their body is very sick in some, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or energetically. And the inverse can be true as well too. Like I've seen people who don't fit that aesthetic, but they are very secure in themselves and they're balanced like mentally, emotionally, and energetically. Like they're doing those things that keep them in alignment with themselves. So it's not tied to like a certain aesthetic, a certain look. So a question I want you to ask yourself as you're endeavoring on your wellness journey is like, am I doing this for how it looks or how it makes me feel? And this can also apply, I'm using a lot of, like, women examples because I work a lot with women in the wellness space, but for men, same thing. Are you trying to fit that gym bro aesthetic? Are you, crushing, protein and, the creatine and the pre-workout, for looks? Or are you doing it because you want the physical benefits that come with it to be able to, like, build the muscles? It helps you feel good. Are you going to the gym and peacocking, or are you actually there for, like, a workout? The same applies for both genders. But going back to that question of checking in with yourself. Am I doing this for looks or am I doing it for how it makes me feel? This simple question can change your whole relationship with movement, food, and even self image. So, the truth is, true wellness encompasses that emotional balance and gives the mental clarity and the spiritual fulfillment with it. The last myth that I'm going to cover is wellness is a destination that you achieve. This one this one gets me because the thing is, not a finish line. Wellness is a lifestyle. It's not just a box that you check and then dump it forever. It's a lifelong relationship with yourself. There will be seasons where you're in a flow, and that flow is amazing. And then there's others when you're simply surviving. Right now, I'm in a season where I am simply surviving. Like some days, like my God, some days are so hard just to even get out of bed in the morning. And that's where I break it down. I start small. I get out of bed. I will splash my face with cold water in the morning. I will take my dog out for a quick walk because like I know that's what's good for me. I know that's going to feel good. It may not be for 45 minutes. It may just be 15, 20 minutes, but I'm in that survival mode and I'm still making those decisions to improve myself and to incorporate wellness like into my well-being because I know at the end of the day in the long run this is what aligns with me. But the thing is, like, I say that, like, it's okay. It is okay if you are in a messy middle right now, if you are healing, if you're unsure, if you're burnt out, you're not failing at wellness. You are in it. You are actively living it. You're doing the work. If you're burnt out, slow down, rest, sleep. Maybe not get in like that 45-minute workout. Knock it down to like 15 and take a nap. That is wellness. And the truth with this one is flexibility is the key. Flexibility is key. Wellness practice, they should adapt to your life's ebb and flow. We're not perfect, and it's not sustainable to be in that constant state of flow at all times. It's just not. Life happens, shit happens. So, another myth that I've fallen victim to over and over again is if I try harder, I will feel better. This one's very common, especially for high achievers and those who have a high drive in life. Like this one hits really deep for me, especially where like I'm in a career field where it demands that and people are not kind if you don't meet that. But the thing is that comes at such a toll. It comes at such a price, especially when you push and you push and you push and you don't know how or when to throttle back. Because at some point your health is going to struggle. And it starts small, and those small things are really hard to pick up on. But those small things like compound and it snowballs. My current health struggles right now is like I'm recovering from a stroke back in February and and I still have like several blood clots that are like in my brain and my body. It has been a complicated journey getting to this point. For the last 2 plus years, I've been pushing so hard in my life, especially professionally, like, buying into that narrative of, like, I just need to keep pushing, keep going. It'll end eventually. Just keep pushing. Like, it's fine. Just take a little bit at a time. Just keep pushing forward. But I ignored so many warning signs, like with my health. I did not ease off the throttle, and I was trying to force so many things that just weren't working out. I took the approach of, if I push harder, then it has to work out. But that came at a massive expense of my health. I hit burnout really hard. I've been struggling with, like, sleep. And then you add on now the current health complications that I have now with the blood clots. There's a bit more to that than just like the burnout and the stress, but having a very high stress life and not throttling back or taking my wellness or not making my wellness more of a priority definitely compounded the effects of like the health crisis that I had earlier this year. I prioritize external achievements over my own well-being, and I was ticking those boxes. I was pursuing my career, relationships, societal expectations, professional expectations, especially, but I felt so disconnected with myself, and I neglected some of those areas of wellness that I talked about above, and I was tired. I started having more health complications that came up and compounded, and I hit that tipping point. I have always been wellness focused, and I say all that as, like, an example to give you, like, my personal experience, and this is someone where, like I said, like, I've always been very wellness focused, especially with nutrition and movement, but I neglected other areas of my life. I neglected some of that whole holistic aspects of my life, and this boiled up with the right medical complications, with the high stress and the pressure I was under, and it hit that tipping point earlier this year that forced me to my knees and really forced me to a point where I had to prioritize my health. I have to prioritize my wellness because my health and my life literally depends on it. I'm still on a long road to recovery, both healing my mind and working through, like migraines, neurological symptoms, and all those things have really disrupted my flow and my day-to-day function life. I've really had to take the time to slow down and to dive into more so into holistic wellness because, like I said, my well-being and my life depends on it. My transformation has not been overnight. Like I said, I wellness has been something I've been incredibly passionate for since I think this is my earliest memories. It was like when I was a teenager. Living in Germany was when I first really started getting more of kind of like an awareness like of wellness. And it has been an ongoing journey of my life. And there has been a lot of like ebbs and flows. But that's the thing. That's life. That's the point of it. Like I'm not perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. And I'm in a point of with my wellness journey where like I am in survival mode. So I have to tailor what wellness looks like for me right now and incorporate those practices for what works for right now. Now I'm confident that with time and with healing, I'm going to get back into that state of flow. I'm excited for when I get there. But right now, I've had to manage my approach to wellness. And some daily examples that I'm doing is like I'm taking time to prioritize my sleep. I'm setting strong boundaries with those people in my life. I've cut out a lot of people out of my life. And I've set strong boundaries with like my work, my profession. I'm also exploring more into some of those other areas of wellness that I have neglected. Like spirituality was one that I definitely have neglected, especially since leaving Mormonism. I shied away so much from spirituality. Now, I always have been a spiritual person, but I've been very hesitant to dive into some of those like spiritual or like more woo aspects. But it's one of those things where like my soul needs it. And so as I'm going through like my healing journey right now, I'm exploring a bit more into spirituality of what works for me, which is meditation and Reiki right now. I mentioned Pilates earlier as well too. I am also diving into some light academics again to strengthen my neural pathways and heal my brain in a combination with different therapies for both my mental health as well as my cognitive function. That taps into my, mental wellness. That was something that also see a lot of people, they really struggle with. Like, it's so easy to get caught in that rut of Groundhog Day where you get up in the morning, you go to work, you get off of work, you come home, you doom scroll, eat dinner, go to bed, rinse and repeat, day in, day out. And that's going to take a toll. And so I'm exploring right now different avenues within those different spheres of wellness because they all kind of overlap and are interconnected with each other. So even after I heal, which I know I'm going to, I just have to be patient. It's a very slow process, but this is where patience is key. Holistic wellness is going to be something that I will continue to prioritize in my life. It's not an overnight thing. It's not an overnight thing for me. It's not going to be an overnight thing for you. But each small step that you take each day, it compounds and it will lead to a more balanced and a more fulfilling life. Wellness, it isn't rigid, it's fluid. It's not a trend, it's a lifestyle. It's not external, it's internal. And at the end of the day, real wellness, it's about coming home to yourself over and over again. So now that we've shaken off some of those outdated ideas of what wellness should look like, let's talk about what wellness can look like for you. When it's designed by you, it's going to be for you. Because here's the thing, true wellness doesn't come from copying someone else's routine. Like what works for me right now might not work for you right now. Like you might not be into meditation right now. I'm still trying to get into it. Don't get me wrong. But like it might not be what you need right now. Maybe going out for a walk in nature is going to do it more for you. That's the beauty of it, is it comes from creating your own. It's tailored to you because it's not about perfection. It's about alignment. It's what is in alignment with you. So the first step I want you to do is let's start with self-awareness. Let's tune in. Ask yourself these questions right now. What makes me feel grounded? What drains me? When do I feel most connected to myself? What do I need more of? What do I need less of? Your answers to these questions are going to be your blueprint. It's not on Instagram. It's not on a Pinterest board. I know, I've been there. It's not. You need to turn in. You need to look inward to you. Holistic wellness, it begins with self-inquiry. Next is the 4 basic realms of holistic wellness. So I know I gave you 8 earlier. 8's a lot, and there's a lot of overlap. But for me, how I approach wellness is I break it down into 4 main wellness realms. You have your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual. These are your foundation, your building blocks. And I'm going to give you a few simple but powerful ways to start in each one. So let's take the first one, physical wellness. This isn't just about fitness, it's about body wisdom. Ask yourself, how does my body feel today? Just take a moment, think on it, especially if you're driving into work. Like, how does your body feel right now, right this moment? How did it feel earlier today? What are some practical steps that you can do to help relieve that? Are you dehydrated? Maybe start your morning with hydrating before coffee. Have a little bit of water and some electrolytes before you dive straight into the caffeine. Are you feeling a little sluggish? Maybe move your body in a way that feels good. Not punishing. I'm not asking you to go to the gym and like punish yourself, but mindful movement. And part of mindful movement is incorporating those activities that you enjoy. Maybe you really like dancing or Zumba, yoga, or just a simple walk. There's so much out there that is free, and there's so many things that will work for you. Next is prioritizing rest and sleep. Prioritize these like it's sacred because guess what? It is. This is the time your body, your muscles, and your mind heals. Rest is actually productive. Your body needs it. You literally cannot function without it. And lastly, like nourish instead of restrict. Aim for whole foods. Get simple. Step away from the packaged foods. Focus on nourishing your body with whole foods that are going to energize you. Now try this mantra. I move and eat in a way that honors my energy, not to shrink myself, but to support myself. The next is mental wellness. Your mind is not a machine. It needs recovery too. It's like a muscle. You have to exercise it and rest it. So some practical steps that you can incorporate is limit your daily input. God, we live in a day and age when we are bombarded with so much information just at our fingertips and everywhere you go. This is news, social media, even podcasts. Yes, even mine. Stop the doom scrolling. It's so bad for you. Do a digital detox. Set time limits for yourself. Allocate time to unplug from devices and reconnect with yourself. This is one I'm still working on. It's tough. But I have noticed a massive difference in my mental health when I take that time to step away from social media or when I stop doom scrolling. I was listening to a podcast yesterday and they were talking about how one lady, she said that like she found herself, like she realized she had a problem when she found herself taking her phone to the bathroom with her. And she was scrolling on it as she was walking to the bathroom and then using the restroom. She was like, I don't need my phone for, like the 1 or 2 minutes that takes me to use the restroom. And she was like, it was just one of those mindless things where, she's recognized that she was doing that. And so she's making a conscious effort to just leave her phone on the coffee table or in the kitchen or wherever she is, if she needs to use the restroom. Like, don't take it with her. Plus, also too, like you don't want those germs in there. Like that's gross. That's disgusting. But anyway, getting back to mental wellness, another activity that you can incorporate is start a thought dump journal. Write freely, no filter. No one's going to read it. Burn it if you want at the end, whatever. But spend a few minutes each day checking in with yourself. Ask, how do I feel physically, mentally, emotionally, or just ramble on. Like take your thoughts and just blurt them all out all over the page. Next is replace I should with I choose to. This is your mindset. I'm all about mindset here because God, your mind is such a powerful tool that you have. And the words that you use, the words that you phrase, like how you approach life and how you approach wellness has such an impact. So I want you to replace I should with I choose to. Instead of I should eat healthy, I choose to eat healthy. Instead of I should go for a walk, I choose to go for a walk. And lastly, learning. Dedicate time to learn and read something new. Find those things that stimulate your mind. Take the time to identify activities and those things that bring you joy and align with your values. When you declutter your mental space, your clarity is going to skyrocket. Like it's crazy. And it's also going to tie into this next one, which is your emotional wellness. Feelings are data. Let them flow without shame. We have a wide range of them that we have to allow ourselves to process in order to move past them. That's the key. You have to process them. You can't just like box them up and shove them away. Now, there are times in life when you do have to compartmentalize, but guess what? You have to pull that box back out, open it up, and flow through the emotions. You simply have to move through them. Some practical steps is name your emotions. Label what you feel is going to help you regulate it. Sit with the discomfort without immediately fixing it. I know it's uncomfortable, but that's part of the process of moving through and feeling like those emotions. Next, talk to someone you trust, a friend, a therapist, or even a voice note to yourself works. Connection, it's an incredibly powerful and engaging aspect or tool that we have in our life. Engage in meaningful conversations and surround yourself with supportive individuals. And lastly, creative expression. Your emotions are connected to your creativity. So engage in activities that allow you to express yourself, like writing, painting, music. And here's a favorite reminder. Healing isn't about being unbothered, it's about being aware and self compassionate. Self compassion is probably one of the biggest things when it comes to emotional wellness. Next is spiritual wellness. This episode is already so much longer than I was planning, but I'm like very excited about this topic and I'm so excited to like share more about like what I'm learning and have learned and what I incorporate in my life like with you. This has literally been like a product of over 30 years. I think I'm like what? I'm 34. Like just a lifetime of learning and understanding that like I'm excited to share with you. But this last one is spiritual wellness. This one often gets overlooked and neglected because it's the glue that connects the rest is what I've learned. There are practical steps that you can take. Start your day with intention, not distraction. This goes back to the mindset thing. Even 1 minute of stillness counts and focus. Try breath work. I fucking love breath work. Like it is so good for you with connecting with your mind, your body, especially where like I struggle with meditation a lot because my mind wanders. But breath work gives me something to focus on and it forces me to focus inward. And you don't have to, sit there for like 10 minutes and do 10 minutes of breath work or meditation. Like start small. 30 seconds is enough. 60 seconds is enough. And you don't even have to be like in a meditative environment to do it. Like, you can do this at work. You can do breath work at work, like while you're at your desk or cubicle or wherever. Just take a few seconds and like breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Do box breathing. Love box breathing. Do that for a little bit and then that's it. You're taking care of yourself. Another aspect is like walking in nature and just observe. This is a spiritual practice, which is crazy, but like there's so much like in nature and just something to be said about connecting with the earth. Reflect on questions like, what am I being called to, surrender today? Like, I know that's a bit woo, but the big thing here is you're connecting within, you're connecting with yourself. You don't need to follow a religion or be woo to have like a spiritual life. You just need to stay curious, present, and connected. And the biggest thing is staying connected with you. So above all with all these, as I like start to wrap this up here within the next couple of minutes, is these practices are going to evolve. Your wellness practice will evolve. Let it. What works for you this season may not next season, and that's okay. Your life, your needs, your energy, they all shift. So instead of chasing consistency, chase attunement. Ask yourself often, what do I need today? And then actually listen, take those small steps to meet those needs. Start small. Pick one area. Maybe it's getting hydration in the morning before coffee, journaling, going for a walk, and anchor in that. And then build from there. Let it compound from there. Don't overcomplicate it and don't try to be perfect. Just try to be present. Try to be kind with yourself. Try to be honest with yourself. Because real wellness doesn't demand perfection, it invites connection. Wellness is such a personal journey, and what works for one person may not work for another, but it's all about finding what resonates with you. You've just explored a lot, from rethinking what wellness really means to uncovering the different dimensions of what makes you whole. And I've given you some practical ways to bring more alignment into your everyday life. And maybe right now you're realizing that wellness, the path that you thought you needed, might not be one that your soul is actually craving. And that's not failure. That's clarity, baby. You don't need a 10-step plan or a full morning routine to be well. You just need one honest moment with yourself. And that's where it all starts. In the small intentional shifts, in the deep breaths before you react, in the decision to be kinder to your body, in the choice to say, this isn't working anymore and I'm ready for something different. There's so much power in that. Wellness is not something you perform. It's not something that you curate and that's for Instagram. And if it's for your living, okay, like it is, but it's so much bigger than that. It's something that you live into. It's something that you embody through one decision at a time. And the beautiful part is you get to decide what that looks like for you. So before I close, I want you to take a moment and ask, what's one thing I can do today to bring more wellness into my world? Write it down, say it out loud, anchor it in, get it rooted within yourself. Because wellness isn't something out there to chase, it's already within you. It's waiting for you to choose it. These practices, though simple, they can be profoundly impactful on your overall well being. And that's going to have cascading effects, both like especially positive effects, like in your life, in all those different spheres and realms of wellness that we covered earlier. So wellness, it's not just a trend. Wellness is not a destination. It's a continuous journey of self-discovery and growth. It's about making choices that align with your true self and values. You were meant to feel good in your body. You were meant to feel peace in your mind. You are meant to live a life that reflects who you truly are: mind, body, soul. It's not about honoring what you need, it's about tuning into what's true and taking ownership of your energy. It's taking one step, however small, in that direction. That's wellness, and that's momentum, and that's reinvention. So, as I wrap this up, I encourage you to reflect on your current wellness practices. This has gone on for like, oh my God, almost like 50 minutes now. And I'm probably going to publish this unedited. So, thank you so much for your patience with the lack of editing on this one. But I needed to capitalize on this momentum and get this out here because this is a message that I'm incredibly passionate about. And I want you to start thinking through wellness in your life and those things that are serving you. You're clearly listening to this podcast, so thank you so much for that. I know you have something there. And now the next step is tuning into what needs adjustment. So If this episode resonated with you, please, please, please consider sharing it with someone who needs this message. Share it online, send it to your friends. It means the world to me when you leave a review or you hit that follow button, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get podcasts. It helps this message reach more people who are ready to step into a better version of themselves. And thank you for trusting me to help you guide you on this journey. If you're not already, come say hi on Instagram. You can find me at my personal page at Melissa_Ventures or at NYAB podcast_podcast. I love hearing your takeaways and the messages that I get from you guys and continuing the conversation with this incredible community that we are building together. So until next time, take care of yourself like someone you truly love because you are not average. You never have been. This is Not Your Average Blonde, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Not Your Average Blonde. Remember, your story isn't finished yet, and the best chapters are still ahead. If today's episode spoke to you, share it with a friend, and don't forget to follow the show on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Stay connected, stay bold, and most of all, stay unapologetically you. Until next time.